What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Mir, bringing you another first Descendant video. Today I'll be going over my finalized Gley build. So this will probably be my last video about Gley. I don't want to be like these other YouTubers making updated build videos every 2 days. Because unless you play the game 12 hours a day, you probably don't have the resources to keep changing your build around. So sorry it took so long to drop this video. I just wanted to make sure everything was min-max so I can confidently say this is the best Gley build. But enough yapping, let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so let's start with Gley's build. So your main build when you're just doing mobbing, or I guess you could also use this in bossing as well, is this build here. You have your double cooldown, double duration, double HP as well, and then shield conversion defense gives you more defense than just increased defense, so you want to use this. Focus on dimension for your dimension modifier and cooldown. Focus on non-attribute for your cooldown and your non-attribute skill power. And then just HP collector. Pretty similar to the build I posted a few days ago. Or I guess it's been like a week now. Anyways, pretty similar to that. Just you have your defense mod and these are maxed out. But for your main bossing build, you'll be using this. Same thing pretty much for the cooldown and duration and your HP. You'll be using iron defense instead of the other defensive mod because it gives you skill power modifier, which will increase your massacres damage. And then these two, of course, and then walk a tightrope. You'll be trying to get yourself to 50% HP so that you can burst down bosses way quicker. Now there is a better version of this build right here, the min-max version. So with this, you'll have less HP, but you'll get your 8% or an extra 8% duration. And instead of using focus on non-attribute, you can use non-attribute master, which will give you more damage. This is like the highest non-attribute mod you can use. But the only way you can get 100% uptime on this is if you have a reactor with double gold substats. And even with my gold, I still don't have 100% uptime. It's still 0.1 seconds. So you need to get max rolled gold substats for cooldown and duration on your reactor to get this to 100% uptime. But if you do, you'll do substantially more damage than with this build. But since I don't have that and I don't have a Python mounting for that reactor, I'm just using this one for now. Also, I need to quickly touch on her Transcendent mod. So for your bossing, you want massive sanguification, 100%. What this does, it allows your 2 life siphon, I believe it's called, to instantly give you 3 of your custom resource, so you can use massacre at the start of a boss fight. Blood and iron is also usable. It'll take a little bit longer to get your custom resource, so you can use massacre, so it's not as good as sanguification. But if you don't have it, then you can use this instead. And then for the main, I'm just using Predator Instinct, which gives you firearm attack for shooting longer. It doesn't really matter what you use. You don't even need this, really, for mobbing, but it's the one I chose to use. But that's it for the build. Let's go ahead and get into her weapons and gear. Gley's best assault weapon to scale her massacre's damage is currently the Python. For the substats you want, weak point damage, firearm attack, and firearm attack versus Colossus. As far as your 4th goes, I would recommend getting an element. You can also get crit damage if you like. The weapon has super low crit rate, so I wouldn't recommend it, but it is RNG at the end of the day. Your perfect roll would be any element you want. You'll just allow your damage to be more consistent than getting crit damage. And then as far as the build goes, we're using double weak point because the weapon has very high weak point modifier and very low crit rate. Your 3 staple mods, action and reaction, rifling reinforcement, and fire rate up. I don't know how many times I've said this in other videos, but no matter what weapon you're building, you'll always want those 3. And then next, your element. And for this, I just have electric on because I was fighting Devourer or whatever I was fighting. But just make sure your enhancement mod matches your priority. So if you're using chill enhancement, you want chill priority. And then here, I just have fixed shot because it matches the polarity and gives me slightly more weak point. And then for the special mod, we're using sharp precision shot. You can also use mental focus. They kind of go hand in hand as far as damage. I think this one comes out slightly on top, but it really doesn't matter which one you use. This lowers your fire rate by 20%, but the longer you shoot, it ups your fire rate to 40%, and then you also get 60% firearm attack. So that's the build for the Python. Let's get into her next weapon. Next, we're going to talk about the MirDxsu Devotion, which is a weapon I recommend you build for every character. this weapon will forever be good. Its passive, or not passive, its unique ability reduces defense by 10% at base, and at max it reduces it by 30%. So this weapon just does an insane amount of damage. For substats, you'll want crit rate, crit hit damage, firearm attack, and weak point. As you can see, mine are white because I just got it and got it to level 100. But as far as the build goes, I also don't have mine built, but this is the build you'll want to go for. You want your crit damage, crit rate, more crit damage, your 3 staple mods, of course, your element, and then weak point. And then I'll also be adding the blue weak point mod to this. I just don't have space. But this is 100% the build you'll want to make for this weapon. Next, we have the good old Vestigal Organ. For this, you want crit hit rate, crit hit damage, explosive attack, and for your 4th, it can be an element. I don't really use this against Colossus anymore, but when I did, I had this on. For the mods, you want action and reaction, fire rate, rifling enforcement, your staple, an element, real life fighter. It just allows your damage to be higher for who cares about your accuracy, and then extra weak point because you should only be shooting weak points when you're fighting Colossus and things like that. If you're not using this for Colossus, use the better insight for the crit rate, but that's pretty much it for her weapons. For Gley's Reactor, you want a non-attribute with Dimension skill power boost and Python mounting. The reason for this is your Massacre scales off Dimension, and your Python will be the weapon in hand when you swap to Massacre, so you'll get the 60% skill power on top of that. For your substats, you 100% want skill cooldown and skill duration. You need these to have 100% uptime on your infinite ammo. If you were to get non-attribute or dimension skill power, you'll be doing slightly more damage, but you won't be doing that damage for longer, which overall comes out to less damage than just having 100% uptime on your abilities. And having the longer duration paired with the mod we have on the Python allows you to do substantially more damage than if you were to get those two as substats. So for Gley's external components, you want the Annihilation 4 set. This is her best in slot. You could also use the Slayer 4 set. This allows your Massacre to do slightly more damage, but that's literally all it does. This gives you duration and more firearm attack to the HP you're losing, and when you're below 50%, you can heal more. So it's just a way better set for Gley. For your auxiliary substats, you want max HP and fire resistance. For your center, you want chill resistance and HP recovery modifier. For your memory, you want defense and electric resistance. And then for your processor, you want toxin resistance. The other substats that it can roll don't really do anything for Gley, so I'd get like item acquisition time or something like that. But as long as you have toxin resistance, that's the only one that matters. So that's it for my updated, finalized, in-game, min-max Gley build. I hope it helped everybody. I took a lot of time to do a lot of testing for this, so, you know, a like or a subscribe would be appreciated. Either or, you know, I'm not picky. But I'm currently working on my MirDxsu build, and I'm working on a like quality of life updates that they could do video. So look out for those. I'm not sure if I put the showcase at the beginning or the end. Y'all will know once, you know, the video's out. But that's it for me. Hope y'all enjoyed. Hope you learned something. Hope you saved some resources. And I'll catch y'all. Peace.